Nightwing's morning began with a rare moment of peace. Dick Grayson stirred awake in the warm glow of noon sunlight streaming through the window, the sound of the city a distant hum outside. Beside him, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl herself, lay still, her auburn hair cascading over the pillow. Bitewing, his loyal three-legged dog, greets him wagging her tail. For a brief moment, the world felt calm. The serenity didn't last long. As Dick brushed his teeth, the shrill ring of his phone shattered the quiet. Melinda's voice came through, urgent and breathless. "Nightwing, we've got a situation. Double Dare just hijacked a city train and stole a dangerous bioweapon. You need to get there now." Spitting out the toothpaste, Dick didn't waste a second. "On it," he replied, his voice steady despite the sudden adrenaline coursing through him. He suited up, the familiar weight of his Nightwing costume grounding him as he prepared for action. Barbara, already pulling on her Batgirl gear, shot him a determined glance. Within moments, they were out the window, grappling through the Gotham skyline toward the city train. The train screeched along the tracks, its rhythmic clatter echoing through the otherwise quiet afternoon. Nightwing and Batgirl landed gracefully on the roof, their capes billowing behind them. As they made their way inside, the scene was eerily still. The train was empty, save for one figure, Aliki Marceau, one half of the infamous Double Dare duo. "End of the line," Nightwing quipped as they confronted her. Aliki's response was to bolt, but Batgirl's precise aim stopped her in her tracks. A pair of cuffs flew through the air, clamping around Aliki's wrists with a satisfying click. "Where's the bioweapon?" Barbara demanded, her voice sharp. Aliki's eyes darted between them, her defiance faltering. "There is no bioweapon," she admitted. "It's a vaccine." The explanation that followed was as shocking as it was sobering. Double Dare had been hired by the nation of Vlatava, desperate to secure a vaccine for a mosquito-borne virus ravaging its people. Shell Pharmaceuticals, the manufacturer, was demanding a price the struggling country couldn't afford. Aliki and her sister Margot had intercepted a shipment, only to be ambushed by mercenaries working for Shell. Margot had been captured, and Aliki had injected herself with the vaccine to protect it from falling into the wrong hands. "They want me to trade myself for Margot," Aliki said, her voice trembling. "But if I do, Vlatava won't get the vaccine. An entire nation will suffer." Nightwing and Batgirl exchanged a glance. The stakes were higher than they'd anticipated. Shell's mercenaries didn't know Double Dare were identical twins, which gave them an idea. Barbara would disguise herself as Aliki and surrender, creating an opening to rescue Margot without losing the vaccine. Barbara barely had time to change into Aliki's costume when the train jolted violently. An explosion rocked the car and the train derailed, crashing onto the street below. The impact was bone-shaking, glass shattering as the train skidded to a halt. Smoke filled the air and mercenaries swarmed the wreckage, weapons drawn. Batgirl, still disguised, was seized immediately. Nightwing and Aliki were forced to flee, pursued relentlessly across the rooftops. Gunfire peppered the air as they leapt from building to building, the mercenaries close on their heels. Dick's heart pounded as he spotted an open window in a nearby office building. With a daring swing, he crashed through the glass, pulling Aliki to safety. Inside, the chaos didn't let up. Nightwing led Aliki to the elevator, their breaths ragged as they descended to the parking garage. There, they commandeered a motorcycle, the roar of its engine cutting through the tension as they sped off, following Batgirl's tracer to a nearby location. The parking garage was dimly lit, shadows stretching across the concrete. Nightwing turned to Aliki. "Stay here," he instructed. "I'll get them out." Inside, Barbara had already freed herself, her combat skills on full display as she fought off the remaining mercenaries. Nightwing joined her, the two moving in perfect sync, dismantling their opponents with precision and efficiency. But their fight was interrupted by a voice over the intercom, cold and calculating. "Nightwing, come to the boardroom." The mercenaries ceased their attack, stepping back as Dick exchanged a look with Barbara. "Get Margot out," he whispered before heading toward the boardroom alone. The room was sleek and sterile, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. Shelton Lyle, the CEO of Shell Pharmaceuticals, sat at the head of the table. Dick's stomach churned as he recognized the man, a childhood bully from Gotham. "You haven't changed, Shelton," Nightwing said, his voice laced with disdain. "Extorting a country for a vaccine? That's low even for you." Shelton leaned back, a smug smile on his face. "Charging a fair price for a product isn't illegal, Grayson. And as for the train, independent contractors. I'm not responsible for their actions." Nightwing's fists clenched, but he held his ground. "You're not getting the vaccine back. With that, he turned and walked away, leaving Shelton to stew in his arrogance. Outside, Barbara and Aliki had successfully freed Margot. Together, the couple vanished into the city, determined to deliver the vaccine to Vltava and expose Shell Pharmaceuticals for their greed. If you enjoyed this epic showdown, don't forget to like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.